Imagine standing on the deck of the most luxurious ship ever built. The air is freezing. The stars shine above you. And beneath your feet, the unsinkable Titanic is dying. Around you, mothers clutch their children. Husbands kiss their wives goodbye. Musicians continue playing as panic spreads through the darkness. In less than an hour, over 1,500 people will be dead. But what really happened during Titanic's final moments? Why were so many lives lost? And what was it like to witness the most famous shipwreck in history as it disappeared beneath the icy Atlantic? Tonight, we're taking you minute by minute through Titanic's terrifying final hour. This is the story they never forgot, and the night the world would never forget. April 14th, 1912. A moonless night. The Atlantic Ocean was calm, almost unnaturally calm. On board the largest ship ever built, over 2,200 people laughed, danced, slept, and dreamed about arriving in America. They believed they were aboard a floating palace, a ship many newspapers had called the unsinkable ship. But within just a few hours, that magnificent vessel would disappear beneath the icy Atlantic. More than 1,500 men, women, and children would die. Families would be torn apart. Dreams would sink into darkness. And one question would haunt the world forever. What really happened during Titanic's final hour? Who made the fatal mistakes? Why weren't there enough lifeboats? And what was it like to stand on the deck as the world's most famous ship took its final breath? Tonight, we're going back to that terrible night, minute by minute, witness by witness, to uncover the shocking truth behind the Titanic's final hour. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe to Real Story Network and turn on notifications, because we bring you the most powerful true stories from history. Now, let's step aboard the Titanic. When RMS Titanic left Southampton, England on April 10th, 1912, she wasn't just a ship. She was a symbol of human achievement. Built by the White Star Line, Titanic stretched nearly 900 feet long. She was larger than anything the world had ever seen. Her grand staircase sparkled under magnificent chandeliers. Her first-class dining rooms rivaled the finest hotels in Europe. Her swimming pool, Turkish baths, and luxurious suites amazed passengers. To many people, Titanic represented the future. Among the passengers were some of the richest people on Earth, and millionaires, business tycoons, celebrities. But Titanic also carried immigrants, families who had sold everything they owned for a chance at a better life in America. For them, Titanic wasn't just transportation, it was hope. Children ran through corridors, couples planned new lives, young men dreamed of fortunes. Nobody knew they were sailing toward disaster. Nobody knew that fate was waiting in the darkness ahead. By April 14th, Titanic had been at sea for 4 days. The voyage seemed perfect, but hidden beneath the surface, danger was growing. Throughout the day, wireless operators received multiple ice warnings from nearby ships. Massive ice fields had been reported directly ahead. Some warnings were delivered to Titanic's bridge. Others never reached Captain Edward Smith, and some were simply ignored. The weather itself created another deadly problem. The sea was unusually calm. Normally, waves crashing against icebergs create white foam that sailors can spot from miles away. But on this night, the ocean looked like black glass. There were no waves, no moon, no visible horizon. The conditions were perfect for disaster. Yet Titanic continued steaming forward at nearly full speed. More than 22 knots. The ship was racing through known iceberg territory. Many historians would later ask, why didn't they slow down? The answer remains one of history's greatest debates. At 11:40 p.m., everything changed. High above the deck, lookout Frederick Fleet stared into the darkness. Suddenly, he saw something. A black shape directly ahead. An iceberg. Fleet immediately rang the warning bell 3 times. Then he grabbed the telephone. "Iceberg right ahead!" The warning reached the bridge. First Officer William Murdoch reacted instantly. "Hard to starboard! Full astern!" The crew desperately tried to turn the giant ship, but Titanic was simply too large, too fast, too close. Seconds later, the iceberg scraped along Titanic's starboard side. Passengers felt a strange vibration. Some barely noticed. Others woke up wondering what had happened. The collision lasted only moments. Then silence returned. But beneath the waterline, 6 compartments had been torn open. Thousands of tons of icy Atlantic water began rushing inside. The Titanic was dying. Most people aboard simply didn't know it yet. Shortly after midnight, Titanic's chief designer, Thomas Andrews, inspected the damage. What he discovered was devastating. Water was flooding the ship faster than anyone could stop it. The damage extended across too many compartments. Titanic had been designed to stay afloat with 4 flooded compartments, maybe even 5. But 6 compartments were flooding. The math was merciless. The ship could not survive. After calculating the situation, Andrews delivered the news. Titanic had less than 2 hours to live. The unsinkable ship was sinking. Captain Smith stood stunned. For decades, he had commanded ships across dangerous oceans. Now he faced an impossible reality. Over 2,200 souls were aboard. There were nowhere near enough lifeboats, and time was running out. As crew members prepared lifeboats, confusion spread across the ship. Many passengers refused to believe Titanic was sinking. Why would they? The ship looked perfectly stable. The lights still worked. The music still played. The engines had only recently stopped. Passengers stepped onto the deck wearing evening clothes. Some laughed. Some joked about the inconvenience. Many were reluctant to enter the lifeboats. Imagine being told to leave a warm, brightly lit luxury liner and climb into a tiny wooden boat hanging over a freezing black ocean. Most people couldn't comprehend the danger. As a result, the first lifeboats left half empty. Seats that could have saved lives floated away unused. A tragic mistake that would cost hundreds of lives. By 1:20 a.m., the situation had become impossible to hide. The bow was sinking lower. The deck tilted noticeably. Cold seawater spread through lower levels. Passengers now realized something was terribly wrong. Distress rockets exploded into the night sky. White flares illuminated the darkness. Crew members sent desperate wireless messages. CQD SOS. Help, help, help. Nearby ships received the calls, but the nearest rescue vessel, RMS Carpathia, was more than 50 miles away. Even at full speed, it would arrive too late. The fate of Titanic was becoming inevitable. As panic grew, extraordinary acts of courage emerged. Some husbands kissed their wives goodbye, knowing they would never see them again. Many men followed the order. Women and children first. Millionaire businessmen gave up seats. Crew members worked until the very end. The ship's musicians continued playing music to calm frightened passengers. Think about that. These men knew the ship was sinking. They knew death was approaching. Yet they continued performing, not for money, not for fame, but to bring comfort during humanity's darkest moments. Their bravery would become one of Titanic's most enduring legends. Now only 20 minutes remained. The angle of the ship became severe. Passengers struggled to walk. Furniture slid across rooms. The freezing Atlantic poured onto the decks. The last lifeboats departed. Hundreds of people remained trapped aboard. Many realized there would be no escape. The water temperature was around -2 degrees Celsius. Anyone entering it would likely die within minutes. Fear spread everywhere. Prayers filled the air. Some cried, some screamed. Others stood silently, accepting their fate. The great ship groaned under unimaginable stress. Titanic was entering her final moments. As chaos surrounded them, the ship's band continued playing. Witnesses would later debate the final song. Some believed it was nearer, my God, to Thee. Others remembered different melodies. What everyone agreed upon was this: the music continued almost until the end. Nearby, Captain Smith disappeared into the darkness. His exact final moments remain one of Titanic's greatest mysteries. Wireless operators stayed at their posts, sending distress calls until power began failing. Every second mattered. Every message represented hope. But rescue remained far away. Then, the lights went out. Darkness swallowed the ship. People screamed. The bow disappeared beneath the surface. The stern rose high into the night sky. For a moment, Titanic stood almost upright. Then the enormous stress became too much. The ship broke apart. One of the greatest engineering marvels in history snapped in two. The bow plunged into the Atlantic. Moments later, the stern followed. At approximately 2:20 a.m., Titanic vanished. The unsinkable ship was gone. All that remained were lifeboats, debris, and over 1,000 people trapped in freezing water. What happened next was perhaps the most horrifying part of the disaster. Survivors in lifeboats heard the sounds. Thousands of desperate cries. Men, women, children, calling for help, begging for rescue. The sounds echoed across the Atlantic night. Then gradually, one by one, the voices faded. The freezing water claimed its victims. Many lifeboats feared returning because they worried desperate crowds would swamp them. It was a decision that would haunt survivors for the rest of their lives. At dawn, RMS Carpathia finally arrived. What rescuers saw was heartbreaking. Lifeboats scattered across a vast ocean, exhausted survivors, frozen bodies floating among wreckage. Of the more than 2,200 people aboard Titanic, over 1,500 were dead. Entire families had vanished. Dreams had been destroyed. The world woke to news that seemed impossible. Titanic, the greatest ship ever built, had sunk on her maiden voyage. More than a century later, Titanic remains far more than a shipwreck. It is a story about human pride, human error, courage, sacrifice, and the fragile nature of life itself. During Titanic's final hour, ordinary people faced extraordinary choices. Some acted with heroism. Some made mistakes. All became part of one of history's most unforgettable tragedies. The icy Atlantic still guards Titanic's resting place, nearly 4 kilometers beneath the surface. Silent, dark, frozen in time. A reminder that even mankind's greatest achievements can disappear in a single night. If you enjoyed this documentary, please subscribe to Real Story Network, like this video, and share it with someone who loves true history. And tell us in the comments, if you had been aboard Titanic that night, what do you think you would have done? Until next time, This is Real Story Network. Good night.